Week 1 of the 2020 NFL season kicks off this weekend as we get started with the NFL season that has been very anticipated over the past few months. And so, it's pretty excited to get things going. Today, we're going to be doing something new on the channel. We're going to be doing game predictions for every game and for every team that's going to be playing here this weekend. And we're going to be doing this every week. We're going to be giving you guys my own NFL predictions for every single week. So, you're going to be seeing a game prediction out of me for every single team in the NFL. We're going to be doing this with college football as well once we get to the point where most teams are playing. But anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with it. This is going to be your first 8 games of this weekend. Of course, we got the Texans and the Chiefs here tonight, and that should be a great game for sure. I mean, Kansas City, of course, they won the Super Bowl back last February, and they're looking very good. I mean, I think they're honestly a team that has gotten better over this offseason. They're looking very good heading into that game. They actually have a 9.5 point lead on the spread, so yeah, many people are really expecting the Chiefs to get a win there, including myself. I think the Chiefs do get the win in the end. However, I do think it's going to be a close one. Like, I don't expect the Texans to win by a large margin. Same thing with the Chiefs. I just think in the end the Chiefs do get the win, but it's going to be by less than 10 points. I think it's going to be a close game. You also got the Seahawks and the Falcons. Should be a fun game there. Of course, the Falcons next season, I think, are being slept on by a lot of people, and I think the Falcons for sure could be a pretty good team this upcoming season, but I've got Seattle winning that one in a close one as well. That should be one of the better games of week 1. We also got the Browns and the Ravens. Should be a fun game there between Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield. Of course, the Browns coming into this season are pretty hyped up to be a possible dark horse playoff contender. However, the Ravens get the win here in the end pretty easily, I'd say, by a score of either 10 to 23 points. So you're going to see the Ravens get the win there. You're also going to see the Bills get the win over the Jets, and that is going to be a game that I think is going to stay very close as well. I mean, the Jets, I do not expect them to be a very good team this season, but I've just got a feeling that the Jets have got a good chance to possibly put up an upset there against the Bills. So, but in the end, I do think the Bills get the win, but it's just going to be very close, much closer than what anyone is expecting. Between the Raiders and the Panthers, of course, Las Vegas is going to be coming into their new season and their first season in Las Vegas, so it should be fun to see how they do. But I think the Panthers and Teddy Bridgewater get the win over the Raiders in week number 1 by a close margin, though, as well. I think a lot of these noon games coming up here in week 1 are going to be pretty close. You also got the Bears and the Lions, fun NFC North matchup there. The Lions are going to get the win in the end pretty easily, I'd say. I think the Lions are easily a dark horse contender in the NFC this season, and I think in general, if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, I mean, we looked at them, or we saw them last season at the beginning of the year. They looked very good at the start, and that was before Matthew Stafford got injured. So if he can stay healthy, I think that Lions team could be a possible dark horse this season. And then you got the one game that I expect to be a blowout of week number 1, and that's going to be the Colts and the Jaguars. And I went back and forth on either giving the Colts an easy win or a blowout, and I'm going to go with a blowout in the end. I think the Colts are going to end up beating up the Jaguars by at least 24 points. I think the Jaguars this season are just tanking, and they're probably going to be the one team that you'll see get 2 or 3 wins this season. I mean, they just are not looking good, and they trade away or they get rid of Leonard Fournette. And of course, you got Gardner Minshew at quarterback, which, I mean, he's a good quarterback, but he's nothing like an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady. So, yeah, the Jaguars this season, I do not expect to be good at all. Colts get the win there in the end by quite a bit. I'd say they end up winning that game by at least 24 points. You're also going to see Green Bay get the win over the Minnesota Vikings by 2.5 points, or that's what the spread's talking about. They're saying that, yeah, it's saying that the Packers are going to win by 2.5. But I think the Packers in the end do get the win. And I've seen a lot of analysts saying that the Vikings are going to pull a possible upset there. But yeah, I think the Packers end up going into Minnesota with a win, and that's what you're expecting out of your first games for week number 1 of the NFL season. Some notable games here. Of course, we got the Seahawks and the Falcons. That should be a fun one. Same thing with the Packers and the Vikings, and then the Raiders and the Panthers as well. Looking at the second half of your games, of course, you get the Dolphins and the Patriots. Should be an interesting game there. Of course, the Dolphins now have Tua, so it looks like he will be starting in that game, and he's going to be going up against Cam Newton and the Patriots team. That is, I think the Patriots will be good this season, but of course, it's going to be a weird adjustment not having Tom Brady in there anymore. But the Patriots do get the win easily, I think, over the Dolphins in the end. It's going to really help to have them in Foxborough for sure. Then you got the Eagles at 5.5 on the spread against Washington, and they're going to be traveling to Washington for that one. Eagles get the win there in the end pretty easily, I think, as well. Then you got the Chargers and the Bengals. Of course, it's going to be Joe Burrow's debut with the Bengals. Should be a fun matchup there. I think the Bengals get the win in the end. They're going to pull the upset over the Chargers, and that's one of the main upsets that I'm predicting for this week number 1. And call me crazy, but I think Joe Burrow, I mean, I know it's not a one-man game, and I definitely think the Bengals still have a lot of improving to do, and I don't expect them to be a playoff team by any means, but I think Joe Burrow leads this team to a huge first win for the 2020 NFL season. I think the Chargers coming into that game, I mean, they're going to be okay, but I do not expect the Chargers to be all that great at all this season as well. I mean, the Chargers are going to be probably a 5 or 6 win team this season, so Bengals get the win there in the end, I'd say. And then you get the Buccaneers and the Saints. Probably the game of the week, I'd say. You got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers now with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Of course, the Saints have been very good for the past few years. Saints get the win in the end. I think it's going to be very close, and it's easily going to be the best game of the week. But we do see the Saints get the win in the end. We also got the 49ers and the Cardinals. I got the 49ers in an easy win there. Cowboys and Rams on Sunday Night Football should be a fun one there. Of course, the Rams are in a new stadium now. The Rams will get the win there in the end in a close one. However, I think the Cowboys do stick around for the majority of that, and you could expect them to lead for a good majority of that game as well. I think the Cowboys this season should be 11 or 12 win team. I think the Cowboys easily should be a playoff team, and they'll definitely win the NFC East. You got the Steelers and the Giants as well. Steelers get the win in the end in a close one against the Giants, and then you got the Broncos pulling the upset against the Tennessee Titans, the team that made it all the way to the AFC Championship game last season. So yeah, that about wraps up our NFL Week 1 game predictions. I'll be keeping a record of my predictions just for you guys all to see. And once again, we're going to be doing this for many weeks to come. We're going to be doing this for the entire NFL season. Your notable games of Week 1, once again, we got the Falcons and the Seahawks, Packers, Vikings, Raiders, and Panthers. Then we got the Buccaneers and the Saints. And then lastly, I'd say the Cowboys and the Rams will be a really fun one as well. Of course, once again, being able to see the Rams' new stadium, it's going to be a fun night for sure. But anyway, with that being said, that about wraps up our Week 1 game predictions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think is going to be the biggest upset of week number 1. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see some sort of big upset this week. Really looking forward to seeing what that is. But yeah, then again, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I will see you all later.